Hello everyone, and welcome back to Voxel Tales. Dan here as always, and this time, we're doing something different. You see, this week was going to be all about infrastructure. I'd been faffing around a bit at the castle after last week, mostly figuring out where the middle of it was, and how big I wanted to make the doors. Then I got to thinking that if I wanted to be able to open these big doors, I'd need to get power over here, and that meant getting lava from the world's most dangerous hot tub, and over to the village. So I did. I spent the vast majority of that day's recording session running a massive underground pipeline from the infinite lava tank all the way to the castle. That involved tearing out the water wheels I'd been using to pump the lava around, and installing a much more robust steam boiler to cope with the power requirements. Once the lava was over there, I built another underground steam boiler to act as the castle's power supply. Put in a couple of mechanical bearings, made a pair of temporary doors, glued them together, and used a sequenced gear shift combined with a rotational speed controller to make them open and close at a pleasing speed. After that, I extended the pipeline over to the power station and connected it to the boiler over there, which meant we no longer needed the lava bucket delivery system, and that it could be taken down and stripped for parts. And aside from needing to install a couple of sub-tanks to trick the system into thinking it wasn't pumping over such a long distance, we now had all of our current lava needs handled by an underground utility system. Neat. In the next day's recording session, I investigated the possibility of using these Mob Scarecrows as a security system for the village. Having established that they scared away any pillagers that came near them, and that they seemed to work even if they were out of sight, I had the idea of making a ton of them and burying them in a grid pattern encompassing the entire village. Imagine being a pillager walking into Podnik and just being utterly terrified for no discernible reason. Sadly, before I could do that, I accidentally triggered a raid. My YouTuber instincts immediately told me that this was great. I can edit all this together into an epic fight scene. Except no, because at about the third wave I killed everything there was to kill, but the raid bar wasn't empty. Every now and again it would throw a token raider my way and I'd dispatch it, but no matter how hard I looked, I couldn't find anything else to kill. And then the raid just ended. No hero of the village, no victory on either side, it just stopped. I could have tried to argue that the developers were making some kind of poignant statement about the futility of war. How it doesn't matter how many people you kill, it's not a score, you're not winning, nobody really wins in the end, and that it's best just to stop. But it's much more likely to have been a bug, let's be honest. Anyway, what you've just seen is the summation of 2 recording sessions worth of gameplay that I then sat down to try and edit together into a workable episode. The same thing I've done every week for the past 10 months. And I couldn't do it. Was not feeling the inspiration at all. So instead, this week we're going to take a peek behind the curtain and I'm going to tell you a story about a channel and a world that never was. You see, this whole channel isn't what it was originally going to be. It wasn't even going to be called Voxel Tales. And to explain, it's best if we go back to the beginning. To this place. As you can probably tell, this is not Podnik Village. If anything, this is supposed to be the real world. What you're looking at is the set for the intro of what was originally going to be I Got Reincarnated in Minecraft. Or iGrim, as I was calling it during development. It's come up a couple of times in the show, but if you didn't know, I quite like me a bit of anime, and the fantasy and isekai subgenres in particular. So the idea was that I'd make a machinima-like hybrid of gameplay and animation using Minecraft as a base. The plan was that the main character, Zack, would get truck-cooned after getting let go from his job and be isekai'd into a world that was basically Minecraft. The idea was to make the sets in Minecraft and then export them into a 3D modelling program using something like Mineways or JMC to OBJ, and then animate the characters into the scene. Unfortunately, it turned out that Mineways only works with vanilla Minecraft, and while JMC to OBJ does support mods, there's a certain amount of manual configuring required that I don't fully understand. Also, considering how many mods there are in the VT mods folder, getting it all working correctly was well outside of my time and skill budget. My next idea was to recreate the things I made in Minecraft directly in 3D, which would be a lot more time consuming and considerably more work than simply importing an existing model. But it was doable. So that's what I did. I remade Quist's Quality Mart block for block in Animation Master, the 3D software that I use.
Why don't you just use Blender?
Oh, you're here when I'm not even actually playing the game. Good to know. Well, I guess it's because I've been using AM since 2007, and right from the get-go it just clicked with me. Something I definitely can't say about Blender. I do use it for the odd thing here and there, and I've done the famous donut tutorial, etc., but at the end of the day we just don't seem to gel. I wish we did, but we don't. Anyway, as well as the sets, I also did quite a bit of work on the actual characters for the show. As tests, I made my Minecraft avatar, he's the one I used to make all the thumbnails with, and Tech, a character who was planned for iGrim. At that stage, I also made Gemini Tay of Hermitcraft fame, primarily because I wanted to figure out how a mouth would work on avatars using that very low eye positioning that hers does. I consider Gem's model to be the Generation 2 design, as it has a pelvis, unlike Dan and Tech. While I was working on all this, the Animation Master Forum launched a motion capture contest that I entered as an excuse to test the models and concepts. There's this famous scene in the BBC sitcom Only Fools and Horses where the main character Delboy goes to lean on a bar and falls through the open bar flap. I probably can't get away with showing more than screenshots here, but if you search for Del falls through the bar on YouTube, you'll find it. Anyway, I recreated that scene for the contest with the iGrim models I'd made. You might notice cameos from a few famous YouTubers in there. You see, what you've got to remember about the modern woman is that they prefer a man that's more mature and that's done well in life.
Oh, so that's why we're not having any luck.
Well, I've not had a chance to work my magic yet, have I?
Well, you might want to work it fast. It's gonna be closing time soon.
Yeah, alright. I think we might be onto a winner here, Tech. Just play it nice and cool, you know? Nice and cool. Yes, I did mocap myself falling over for that scene. And I won the contest, if you were wondering. So things were looking good. I had working models, confirmation that the idea could work, and if I could get a good mocap set up on the go, a fairly quick way to animate it all. And then something occurred to me. If Isaac was being reincarnated in Minecraft, then why did the real world already look like Minecraft? Assuming that this would ruin any suspension of disbelief I could reasonably expect from the audience, I decided to make a more realistic intro for the series, quickly realising that it would be a massive time investment to remake all of the grocery store, the car park, the cars, and the street. So I completely reworked the opening to be set in a container storage facility, with Zach now working as a night watchman. That way I could fill up a lot of the backgrounds with containers, and set to work making some new models. I've cut together the very rough test stuff I got done to show you, but please bear in mind that it was a long way off being ready for prime time. I'm not even supposed to be here. I finally got all the mods installed, and tonight I was going to start a new world, explore a bit, and set up a starter base. But no. Greg has called in sick, to the surprise of no one, because sick Greg is always sick. Okay, and we're suddenly not working because... power failure. Brilliant. Office to Terry, over.
Go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, Terry, whereabouts are you right now? Over.
I'm about halfway between warehouse A and B. Why, you checking up on me, are you? Over.
What? No, we've just lost all the cameras over by the south gate and container storage. Computer's saying it's a power issue. Over.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to tell you that we've been having problems with them. I've got a service ticket in. Somebody's supposed to be coming on Monday to look at them. Over.
As I said, very rough and way off being finished. The idea was that Zach would be killed during a robbery orchestrated by his boss Terry, and that he would be reincarnated in Minecraft. Shenanigans ensue. So by now we're in May of 2023, and I've been working on this YouTube show idea for close to a year on and off. I decide that if I don't start putting something out, then I'm never actually going to do it, so I retool the project again. This time it was going to be a story-based Minecraft Let's Play. That was going to be the niche, otherwise it was just going to end up being another Minecraft channel, and YouTube is literally splitting at the seams with those. So, step 1, it would be a story-based channel. I would introduce characters with backstories, and even though it was a single-player world, I'd use NPC mods to give the impression that the characters were a constant presence in the world. Step 2, there was much more storytelling potential if I had a lot more blocks and mechanics to work with, so it was definitely going to be a heavily modded series. And step 3, there would be animation and story-based cutaways to flesh out the ongoing story, combined with emergent storytelling based on what happened naturally as the playthrough went on. That's how we ended up with the taking of Mallory Castle. And so at the end of July last year, Voxel Tales Episode 1 came out. Not the show I had planned, but a show that I would put my all into to make the very best it could be. And I hope that if nothing else, I succeeded in that much at least. I would like to do more of the story stuff, but for all I know, that's what's holding the channel back. Maybe people would watch more if I dropped that stuff altogether. So you know what? Let me know. I'm handing this one to you lot. If you only ever comment on one video, let it be this one. I'm asking you to tell me what you like and what you don't. At the end of the day, the show and the channel are for you. Believe it or not, I can play Minecraft without spending days recording and editing it all into videos. I do it because I want to entertain people. So I'm asking, what do you like and what do you not like? If nobody really cares for the story stuff, I'll cut it out. Likewise, if you think the survival let's play aspect is just the same stuff everybody else does and I should focus on the story, then I'll happily do that. I don't know, and it's exactly because I don't know that I'm asking for your input. So yeah, that's where we're at. I hope you enjoyed that little look behind the scenes. As always, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the show, then help us grow by subscribing and leaving us a cheeky like or a comment below. I've been Dan, this has been Voxel Tales, and until next time remember, be good. And if you can't be good, don't get caught. Bye guys.